Hey everyone, welcome to my page. My name is Ashley Ann, also known as the Grooming Extraordinaire, and I'm gonna give you all like a quick disclosure. This is absolutely new for me. Um, I have been in my own season of wilderness, so just with the experiences that I've gone through life, and the people that I've met off of social media, and I've realized how I really have been able to change their lives by sharing my testimony. God is like, all right, I'm ready for you to talk and tell your story. So I'm here to I'm here to tell my story. So again, my name is Ashley Ann, also known as the Grooming Extraordinaire. If you haven't yet, make sure you click that button below and subscribe to my channel. So let me spill the tea. Um, those of you that know me already, most people have known me as the chocolate little groomer that has just been taking over the world. A few years back, I have worked with Hulu, HBO. I was a celebrity stylist. I was located in New Jersey, but I did relocate to Houston, Texas. So I'm officially in H-Town now. But a lot of things have changed. I closed my business in 2020. I didn't really give any heads up. And when I closed my business, I really didn't know what my next steps were. I just knew like I was a mom, I had a child to focus on, I had things to take care of. And that was my focus. So one day I kind of just like vanished. Like I just disappeared. God brought me into my season of wilderness. No announcement, no goodbye. Virtually, I just walked away. And I'm going to keep it real funky with y'all. I have a script because it's so interesting that I could be on TV. I can work with Hulu and HBO. But now when it comes time to like being vulnerable and letting the world in on my life, it's like, okay, let me just make sure I have this together. Let me make sure I have this right. Because I'm a Leo, I'm a perfectionist. So I just want to make sure like my words are carrying weight. The entire purpose of this video is to share my testimony, and for people that are going through the similar circumstances where you have a passion and something just happens to where everything is like just falling off. It's like it's not failure, it's just repositioning. And it took me a while to realize it wasn't failure, it was repositioning that I was going through. But like God really had to like put his hands on me, because with me personally, I thought that like I failed. I thought, I'm like, okay, I started at a corporate company and then I became a business owner. I had a successful business. I, started doing celebrity dogs. I was being reached out to all of doing commercials and cartoons and voiceovers, paying for PRs. And then, if I could be honest, like, I think my breaking point was when I gave a publicist $15,000, because to me, I felt that that was the only way I can get where I saw myself. And she decided to quit on me via email 5 minutes before I was supposed to go live on ABC 7, and that really broke me to my core. And I think that was the beginning of my rebirth. So the entire purpose of this video is just for me to go into detail, share a little bit of my testimony. And it's, like I say, it's just so funny because I don't be wanting people in my business like that. I just be wanting to be in my own little world, do my own little thing. But like sometimes when God calls you to do something, you really just have to be obedient to him, right? So, and I'm gonna be honest, I wrote my script down because I wanted to make sure I do this right. I didn't want to miss anything. And then, like I want to be intentional with this video. So the first thing we're going to talk about, I had Diamonds in the Rough, located on Lincoln Park, New Jersey. I'm no longer a Jersey girl. I'm a Texas girl now, but I did close my salon to my own terms. It was a lot involved with that salon. I wasn't forced out, but I did make the decision to protect my peace. To protect my peace, to protect my daughter, to protect my purpose. I don't know if anybody can resonate with what I'm saying, but when you're passionate about something, and specifically in a service industry, with me and dogs, the biggest problem was that a lot of pet parents weren't taking heed to what I was saying. And, things would happen where their dogs would be overwhelmed, or they'll just be fed up. They'll be tired of me. And I was tired of their parents. Sometimes it was just like, I'm like, hey, you have a golden doodle. He needs to be done on routine. Or, hey, you have a Maltese, she has anxiety, like, stop bringing them in knotted. And it was just like, I feel like people were kind of like taking advantage of my passion. And what was happening was that, because of the domino effect, right? Like, just because a dog can't talk doesn't mean it can't feel. But because of the domino effect, what ended up happening was, people were trying to find somebody else to blame other than taking accountability for themselves. So that played a really big role with me being ready to walk away from the salon. Then I'm very transparent and I'm honest. I'm a Black woman, and I was in a predominantly white industry, and in a predominantly white environment. And I think, once I started building my value and I went to school in China, and I graduated from one of the most prestigious grooming academies, and then I went to grooming school in South Korea and the UK, because I have a Kobe Mamba mentality. I've always believed in being the best of the best. And when I came back, I don't know, like, I just feel like people were just like, oh, how dare you charge that much? This is a dog haircut. And I'm like, do you know what consists of a dog haircut? It's very invasive. We're washing their butt. We're cutting their hair. I'm working on a moving living creature. So it really just became overwhelming, because I feel like it got to a point where people saw my talent, but they weren't hearing what I had to go through to achieve these looks. And like that, it was such a domino effect with everything. And it really just started taking away from what I was passionate about. I was exhausted. I've been in the industry since I was 15 years old. I'm 33, can't tell. But I've been in the industry for a really long time, so I've seen a lot. And not only that, I've traveled the world. So I know what it consists of when it comes to taking care of pets. And I do dogs and I do cats. So I don't know, like, it was just like in 2019, something had to shift. I wasn't happy. I wasn't at peace anymore. I know I was talented. I know I was skillful. I knew that I had a much bigger purpose, but it was a lot that was just taking me away from it. So I closed my salon. I disappeared. And not just from the grooming world, but I took a step back from social media. I took a step back from noise. I took a step back from distractions. I really wanted to focus on my daughter, giving my daughter everything that I had, that I didn't have. And also with me, I was like, I'm the generational curse breaker in my family. And I don't know if anybody else can resonate with that, but whenever you're a generational curse breaker, I think like the devil got a problem with that, because he's just like, how dare you interrupt my plans? I want to cause destruction. I want to lead people astray. And that was just something that I didn't want for me, and I didn't want for my daughter. So it was a lot dealing with the warfare with that as well. So I took a hiatus. I needed to breathe. I needed to heal. I needed to reflect. And in 2019, I had a client that said to me, like, you need to move to Texas. Texas is where you need to go. And usually a lot of people said I need to travel. Like, they're like, oh, you need to go to LA. You need to go to New York. You need to go here. You need to go to Miami. But for some reason, it was Texas that like stuck with me. And honestly, like in 2020 is really where my spiritual journey kind of came. Not kind of, but that's where it did come into play. That's where God grabbed my attention. He said, this is what I want you to do. I need to rebuild you. I need to crush you to develop you to become the woman that you need to become, so I can sit on the screen, so I can be vulnerable with all of you and tell you my story. And, it was a lot of rebuilding that came with it. So I had to leave what I once knew, create a new home, create a new life, create a new business from the ground up. And it, like, none of it's been easy. And if we want to be technical, anything worth having is not going to be easy, right? So even with all of that, I don't think I've ever felt as spiritually as aligned as I do now, because I was obedient with what God has done. And He's provided for me. You know, when I moved to Texas, I had a completely different perspective of how I thought things were going to work. And it did not work like that at all. I mean, all hell broke loose when I came here. And I was just like, oh man, like, why would you bring me down here if all of this was going to, like, turn out the way that it turned out? But you really can't question what God is doing and how He does it, because we will never have the mental capacity to understand His plan. So just like basically with that, like when I stepped away, I built something more meaningful. And the first thing was building myself and building my daughter. And, you know, being in the industry for 20 years, I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to groom another dog. You got people out here that's like, I could groom my dog myself. And it's kind of like, you know, you go to the dentist's office and you fed up with the dentist and say, I'm gonna take care of my teeth myself. Or, you know, you go to your OBGYN and say, I'm gonna do my pap smear myself. I just think, like, you know, you have people that go to school for these things, and you have people that are educated to take care of these things. So, you know, but also I think, like, it's been a lot of trust that's been broken within the industry. And I started in 2005. So, you know, it's 2025. So it's been a lot of changes since the industry, since I first entered in the industry. And I do feel like, you know, it's important for up and coming pet stylists, pet professionals, and you don't even have to be into the grooming world. You could want to be a pet trainer, or you could be a food person that makes the pet food. It's just there's so many different routes and alternatives that you can take. But I think, like, the biggest thing with it is, like, I like to teach people through my passion, and I like people to see that I do it with love. I love everything that I do. But coming to Texas it's much different out here than it is up in the north. Like, I call myself like the bougie groomer. So it's like, usually we get like the really bougie dogs, the foo-foo cuts, the colors and stuff like that out here, because it's hot. Everybody's shaved. Everybody like a little naked potato. So I'm like, okay, well, it's really not much for me to do out here as far as like servicing people, but as far as educating people, that really became my passion. And I was teaching in New Jersey. I had people traveling from all over. I had people traveling from Vegas, from California. I had people traveling from, you know, the Barbados. So God put it in my heart. He's like, what I want you to do now is to open the first Black-owned grooming academy. And that's what I'm down here doing. So I am working on that. And honestly, like, doing something that's never been done before, it's not easy. Like, it is not easy. There is no blueprint. And for the longest time, I used to get a little frustrated with God. I'm like, why would you have me do all of this stuff and, like, nobody's prepared for it? But it's not about who's prepared. It's about me being prepared for it. And, you know, going through this journey and, like I said, rebuilding, it's really molded me to be able to get the grooming school up and running. So right now, like, my grooming school isn't up physically yet, but I am in the works of it. So, you know, I found a way to teach and to empower. And sidebar, if you are in Houston, if you are in the area, I will be at the Houston Dog Expo September 6th from 12 to 5 p.m. I'm going to have the link in the bio for you to purchase your tickets. So if you want to meet me, feel free. I love meeting new people. I love chit-chatting, spreading the word, spreading my passion. So definitely make sure you click the link down below and get your tickets for that. I think that it'll be a great experience. And like I said, this is my first time being back outside. I've been chilling, you know, I've been enjoying my daughter, my human, and my fur child. And I've just enjoyed my safe space. But God said, time is up. I need you outside. This is what I want you to do. And it's so crazy because I was listening to my girl, Natija. She's a tarot reader, to each their own, right? But it was funny because I was listening to her this morning, and I'm like, God, what do you want me to do? Do you really want me to go on YouTube? Do you really want me to post these videos? And he said, yes, Ashley, I want you to post these videos. And so, of course, Natisha, when she was doing her reading for the day, she said my name, and then she was like, YouTube, post this video, cry. Now, I ain't gonna be crying. I ain't gonna do all that, but I am gonna share my truth and tell you guys, what's been going on. So, honestly, like I said, it's been great. I've been able to be present for my daughter. I've been able to live a life that's more balanced. Like, being a celebrity pet stylist, like I was on call 24/7. Doing a TV, I was on call 24/7. So it really took me away from being able to like be a proactive mom, be an intentional mom, and like before anything, I think like that's always just been my priority, just being present for my daughter, being able to give her what she needs, just having a more balanced life, more joyful, and just like more purpose overall. So with that being said, I think like for anyone who's ever had to walk away from something good, I just want to be a testimony, right? I don't know where this is going to lead. I don't know how this is going to go. Like, I'm just like, y'all really got me on YouTube sharing my story. This is so crazy. But I just want people to know you need to protect your peace. If you're passionate about something, I don't care if it's a dog stylist, I don't care if it's a chef, I don't care if it's in podcasts. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're passionate about something, you need to stand beside it. And usually, like, when you're passionate about something, there are going to be entities that are going to try to pull you away from that. And you never know who your story is going to inspire. You never know who your story is going to make something better for. And so, with me, I am glad that I was able to come on here and speak to all of you. I don't know, y'all might have to drop some stuff in the comments on what y'all want me to talk about, like Asian fusion, just lifestyles. Like, it's just so much. It's so much. It's so much. So, I also need y'all to pray for me. Pray for my strength with this, because like I said, it's like, it's exciting, and I'm very vulnerable. Like, when I jumped on, like I prayed a couple times before I jumped on this camera. I'm like, Lord Jesus, make sure I say it the right way. I don't want to say nothing wrong. Because like once you put it into the world, like it's outside and there's really nothing else that you could do about it. But like I am very happy. I'm very happy that I was able to do this. And like that's what this channel is for. I'm not just like a pet professional, but like if you're a pet parent or like a petpreneur or just someone rebuilding in general, like welcome home. I want you guys to subscribe. I want you to drop the comments. I want you to share. And I have a lot of other things to talk about, a lot of other things to share. But like right now, like this was primarily like I'm back, I'm outside, I'm here for the long run. I am just honored. I thank everyone for just taking the time out to like listen to me. And then at some point I'll go a little bit into more detail in another video about like the chaos of coming to Texas. I'm telling y'all, when I got down here, I thought it was about to be smooth sailing, but baby, absolutely not. God was up there with his popcorn. He was like, and first of all, y'all, I just learned this not too long ago. I think my next video, I'm going to be talking about my experience at the Woman Evolved with the Potter's House and Sarah Jakes Roberts, because that was really a game changer for me as well. So, like I said, if you guys have questions, drop them down below. I'm thankful for you all just trusting me and being here with me and allowing me to share my story. I'm here. I took a step back, really just to get closer with God, so he could just lead me the right way. Anytime, you're a trailblazer or you're a pioneer, you have to take that responsibility very seriously, because there are people that are, they're meeting me and they're like, you changed my life. You made me, want to be more. And I'm all for watching people grow and become better versions of themselves, but I never want to lead people the wrong way. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I will definitely be back. I'm going to Make sure I record more. I'll probably bring y'all outside with me when I'm just enjoying my life. Like I said, the Houston Dog Expo is September 6th, so just make sure you get your tickets. I'm gonna be there. Um, I'll have my booth, so you'll get to meet me. I am, like I said, I have stepped away from grooming dogs to educating and teaching pet parents and pet professionals how to do it with love and to do it with passion. I'm really, really excited about opening my grooming school. So I definitely will bring you all along for the journey with that. But I thank everyone for their time today. I thank you for being with me. I thank you for rocking out with me. And I am going to say bye-bye now. So thank you.